Right, it's review time. Episode 2, Ultimate Fighter, Season 10, I believe. Heavyweights. First up, there's a link in the sidebar, which is that way. And that is to the YouTube Ultimate Fighter. First episode is done. No fights have happened. Everyone is still around. But there's a summary there. And I'll run episode 2 possibly tomorrow. Possibly Friday. I don't know. Depends when I get around to it. I got some other shit. There is a Warhammer over there. Some of which is still in the Yeah, call me a geek. Warhammer is right. Okay, anyways, on to the review. We start off with a brief recap. And then we go into... Actually, was there a recap this time? I don't think there really was. I guess probably because we went with the fight pick last time around. We have Roy Nelson fighting Kimbo. A lot of shots of Kimbo training. Like that. I really do. That's very nice. I mean, the heavier emphasis on training shots has actually been better this season. The only problem is with the fights being so boring, the lack of drama has been somewhat killer to the show's momentum. But anyways, we get a look at Marcus Jones, gardener. Apparently he's very into the gardening, and that is fine. He is, however, a bit of a nut. He's a little sensitive because when he was somewhat told that Scott Junk would probably get the next fight if they had control, he got a little pissed about that. He might fight next. The preview kind of alludes to maybe they picked him and he had problems. I'll get to that later. We have, a lot of talk about, Roy Nelson versus Kimbo. Basically, both teams are very confident. Roy Nelson gives his theory on unanswered shots, which comes into play later. What else is there? There's another confrontation between Rashad and Rampage when Keith Jardine comes to train with Team Rashad, and James McSweeney gets dragged into it by Rampage, but at the same time is a bit out of line with well, not out of line, but he's he states things as facts that aren't facts, such as Rampage is always the one that starts the straight talk. We don't know who started the initial one. Rashad being late started this round 2, and round 3 was definitely started by Rashad when he was saying how KG, Keith Jardine, had Rampage's jaw aching. I find Rashad to be... They're trying to post him in a good light, which is obvious because Rampage left, and you would think that, if Rampage hadn't left, I think we may be seeing a even more douchey Rashad. He seems to be a douchebag. Not that Rampage isn't a douchebag. At times he really can be. This is 2 coaches where I'm not particularly rooting for a coach. I think Rashad's team is infinitely better. I think he did a better job picking it, but I think he did a poor job picking it too. But anyways, was there anything else? I don't think there's really anything else. Then, so we'll go to the fight. The weigh-in with the You Don't Look 264. But we also learned about how Roy does everything for himself, which kind of explains a couple of things with the training. It really does. He's a guy who just doesn't trust very easily. Is basically what I think is the problem in some regards. Anyways, to the fight. They exchange on the feet a bit. Roy lands some stuff, but Kimbo's definitely has the more power behind it, I think. And had this stayed on the feet, I think Kimbo had a shot. Roy takes him down. He actually gets stuffed originally, and then he takes him down. Gets mount. I believe there was some side control. He eventually ends up in the crucifix, landing shots, which Dana later shitted on. And I hated Herb Dean on this one because the rule is intelligently defending yourself. It doesn't mean power. And Roy was landing unanswered shots, and especially when Herb's gone, you gotta do something, Kimbo, and Kimbo does this. He goes and relaxes on his back. Like literally the arms stop moving, he's not trying to roll them, he's not trying to do anything. That's a stoppage in my opinion, and Herb has stopped it for less, so. Anyways, second round, Kimbo comes out like a house on fire. But Roy takes him down pretty quickly. I think it was less than a minute. I think it was about 40 seconds into the second round. Takes him down, gets that crucifix again, stops him. Roy was too happy with his performance. I think he should have gone for some more subs. I think he could have definitely won this fight with a better performance. That being said, this is probably the best fight because, well, for one thing, this is the first time no one's like, gassed out. These are the first 2 fighters of the 6 that we've seen get in the cage. I have faith can go 3 rounds without gassing out. Whatever. Next. Oh yeah, I do not like Dana's. It's like I let my daughter on me. Your daughter doesn't weigh 260 some odd pounds, at least, maybe more. I'm not saying those were the most effective shots in the world, and for sure they weren't, but should have been stopped. Anyways, I don't know. Looks like Marcus Jones, like I said, had some problems, and of course, Team Rashad seems to have a traitor in the mix. I'm banking on Mike Wessel. He's the only one that seems to be friendly with the Rampage team. It's not going to be one of Rampage or Rashad's boys, which are McSweeney and Schwab. I don't think it'll be Roy Nelson or Daryl Shriver, because neither like Rampage because of them making fun of their respectively gut and titties. Which I found out funny when Rampage was talking about how that gut can be used as a weapon, and it can, kind of, in a weird way. And I don't think Madsen, Justin Wren, who both fit very well in with Team Rashad, or Matt Matroni, who seems to be very pro Team Rashad. So if it's not Mike Wessel, I'm going to be kind of surprised. Though I could see Matroni, Wren, or Madsen maybe being it. Anyways, apparently Rashad's team has a way to go 8-0. It's possible because I think, they have probably the 5 best fighters on the show. Maybe, 5 best fighters in the forms of Schwab, which I don't overly agree with, but people seem to be very high on Schwab. I've said this before, so and there are people that I respect the opinion of, so I'm assuming there's something I'm not seeing. That's kind of it. Roy Nelson, who I think is the best on the show, Daryl Shrewer, who I think is probably the 2nd best, Madsen and Wren, who are the 2 best wrestlers, and since no one particularly on Rampage's team really can counter that, that's probably the top 5. And then after that, the irony is I think their first pick, James McSweeney, is their 2nd worst fighter. Kind of ironic. Not the 2nd worst fighter on the show, but 2nd worst fighter on the team, only ahead of Matt Matrone. That's pretty much it. So check out the YouTube Ultimate Fighter, and look for episode 2 at some point in